Doe rounds the final buoy and heads for home, chasing Brent Foster's 6-year-old swim record. Wizzoni follows. Brown, unable to stay with the leading duo, leads the procession of elite athletes spread out behind him. Doe is out of the water in a slick 45 minutes 38 seconds, a minute outside the record. Wizzoni stands in Lake Taupo just under a minute behind Doe. More than 3 minutes back, Brown swims around the final buoy. As Doe goes for his bag in the swim bike transition. Doe's lead is a minute on Wizzoni and 3.5 minutes on Brown, who exits the lake all alone in third place.
Here he goes, the young man from Auckland, getting on his chariot for 180 kilometres. This bag. Kieran Doe Rather's in the lead, second place Terenzo Wizzoni. Here comes the reigning champion, 8 times champion here at Bonita Ironman, New Zealand.
Terenzo Wizzoni leaves transition in second, as defending champion Gina Crawford leads the women out of the water in a time of 50 minutes flat. One and a half minutes ahead of Crawford, Cameron Brown climbs into the swim bike transition. As a further 2 minutes back, Lorna's second woman out of the water. Her sights and thoughts focused on Crawford, climbing the stairs a couple of 100 metres in front of her.
Put your hands together for Cameron Brown.
The men's champion is out onto the bike. He's now nearly 4 minutes from the lead.
And I can see Gina Crawford just coming into transition as well. Gina Crawford is into transition. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a good clap as he gets onto his bike.
Joanne Lorne climbs to transition, with Australia's Sarah Pollitt close behind.
She's in the lead, and that's Gina Crawford, but if she looks over to the side, she'll see the main competition today coming through as well. Very, very close here, because we can see Jo Lorne, she's ready to roll here too. Come on, folks, make some noise and get these leading what's on their way. Gina Crawford, the reigning champion, onto the bike. Gina Crawford from New Zealand. She knows where Gina is. She knows what she has to do. 6-time champion here at Ironman New Zealand.
785.
Remarkably, the fourth fastest swimmer is from Wellington mother of 3, Sue Millsop, who has her eyes set firmly on a grand Ironman finale. And the former national swimming champion is still fiercely determined to achieve her goals.
I have a very competitive nature, which I have to admit I thought as I got older would become less, but I don't think it has.
And her goal? To qualify and race in her age group at the World Championships in Hawaii.
Another highly competitive athlete is Olympian and national cycling champion Melissa Holt, buoyed today in the knowledge that she is less than 5 minutes down on the leaders going into the bike.
3-time New Zealand time trialling champion. One of them is Kate Bevilacqua.
2 years ago, Australian Kate Bevilacqua finished second to Jo Lorne here in Taupo. Since then, she's been plagued by injury. With great support from the locals, today marks her comeback.
You guys are great.
Right beside her, number 11, is John Carey, another Australian. So a couple of Aussies going out at the same time. Strong Aussie contingent here today. So John Carrion right behind him. Remember her for 2 years.
Training for Ironman New Zealand has been tough for United States athlete Kim Loeffler, coming out of the snow of a Vermont winter. While she is one of the sport's best bikers and runners, swimming is her Achilles heel. Today, she is 14 minutes behind Crawford out of the water.
The thing for me is just trying to minimize that deficit in the water because, you know, the top girls, they can swim, bike and run. They don't really have weaknesses.
Those top girls, Crawford and Lorne, are showing their strength as they head out of Taupo on the first lap of the bike.
Back on the lake, the age groupers are on the return journey of the swim. Nick Ruane is a lonely figure still on the way out. Nick's very private battle is not just with Ironman. Throughout his school years, he never felt accepted, and accordingly, he ballooned in weight. He then turned his life around, and with exercise, the weight dropped off, more than 40 kgs of it. Nick wanted to achieve something monumental in his life. He wanted to become an Ironman. But he knows that the 2-hour, 20-minute cut-off for the swim will be his biggest test.
279-398-725-510-11212.
Among the hundreds of age groupers streaming into the bike transition is number 1061. Michelle Catterick can be forgiven if she can't remember the nuances of an Ironman. It's been 26 years since her first one. As Michelle Gammy, she was the winner of the first Ironman New Zealand off Mission Bay in Auckland back in 1985. And this Marlborough mother is back for her second. Television motivated this comeback after seeing all shapes and sizes competing in the race last year.
I thought if I want to do it again, I sort of got to do it now rather than later because I'm not getting any younger. And yeah, just a bit of a midlife crisis, I call it.
Midlife crisis or not, Michelle has enjoyed an excellent swim, out of the water 6th in a competitive age group, with a qualifying spot in Kona a possibility.
204-745.
That's also the main focus for Wellington age grouper Dave Creamer.
Well, the ultimate for a lot of us is to try and qualify for the World Champs in Kona, and you have to do a pretty fast time. I don't normally think about it, but I got just within 30 seconds last year.
Dave has thought about that 30 seconds a lot in the last year. If he's to qualify for the World Championship, the 45-year-old will need to come up with a sub 10-hour 15 finish.
211-647.
So far, so good.
At the sharp end of the race, the Kiwi trifecta of Terenzo Bozzoni, Karen Doe and Cameron Brown settle into their work on the first lap of the 180-kilometre cycle that will go a long way to shaping the final outcome of the race. The cycle is a 2-lap out-and-back course that takes the athletes from Taupo along Broadlands Road to the country town of Reparoa and back. In the women's race, Loeffler is still a long way off the lead in 9th. Ahead is Nelson-based German number 22, Britta Martin, with Australian Kate Bevilacqua 7th. She's behind compatriots Jodie Scott in 6th and Nicole Ward in 5th. Sarah Pollitt continues to hold 3rd, but her position is being threatened by fast-moving cycling star number 10, Melissa Holt. But out in front, defending champion Gina Crawford and 6-time Bonita champion Jo Lorne are riding together, and neither is prepared to give an inch.